Welcome! Today we're baking irresistible blueberry muffins. Follow along as we prepare these light, fluffy treats packed with juicy blueberries. Let's dive right in. First, we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. This will be our main dry ingredient, providing structure to our muffins. Next, we need 3/4 cup of granulated sugar to add sweetness. Don't forget 1/2 teaspoon of salt to balance the flavors. We'll also use 2 teaspoons of baking powder to help our muffins rise. For the wet ingredients, we have 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, which keeps the muffins moist. 1 large egg adds richness and binds the ingredients together. We also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract for a touch of flavor. Finally, 1/3 to 1/2 cup of milk will bring the batter to the right consistency. Now for the star ingredient, we need 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries. These add bursts of flavor and moisture. For the crumb topping, you'll need 1/2 cup of flour, 1/3 cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Combine these with 1/4 cup of cold cubed butter to create a delicious crumbly topping. Alright, let's get started with our blueberry muffins. First, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 200 degrees Celsius. This will ensure the oven is nice and hot by the time we're ready to bake. Next, grab your muffin tin and either line it with paper liners or give it a good coating with cooking spray. This will make sure our muffins don't stick to the tin and come out easily once they're baked. Now, let's make the crumb topping for our blueberry muffins. Grab a small bowl and add 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Mix these together until well combined. Next, add 1/4 cup of cold cubed butter to the bowl. Using a fork or a pastry cutter, blend the butter into the flour mixture. You want to keep mixing until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. This crumbly texture will give our muffins a delicious crunchy topping. Once done, set the bowl aside. We'll sprinkle this on top of our muffins before baking. Alright, now let's prepare the muffin batter. Start by taking a large bowl and adding 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Whisk these dry ingredients together until they're well combined. In a separate bowl, combine 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1 large egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whisk these wet ingredients until they're smooth and well mixed. Now pour the wet ingredients into the bowl with the dry ingredients. Stir everything together until just combined. Be careful not to overmix, as we want our muffins to be light and fluffy. Finally, add enough milk to achieve a thick but pourable batter consistency. Start with 1/3 cup and add more if needed. Stir gently until the batter is smooth. And there you have it. Our muffin batter is ready for the blueberries. Now, let's fold in the blueberries. Take 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries and gently fold them into the batter. Be careful not to overmix to keep the muffins light and to avoid squishing the blueberries. Next, we're going to fill our muffin cups. Using a spoon or a scoop, divide the batter evenly among the prepared muffin cups, filling each about 2/3 full. This will give the muffins room to rise as they bake. Finally, sprinkle the crumb topping we made earlier evenly over the muffins. This will give them a delicious crunchy top. Now it's time to bake the muffins. Place the muffin tin in your preheated oven and bake for 20 to 25 minutes. You'll know they're done when a toothpick inserted into the center of a muffin comes out clean or with just a few moist crumbs. Once they're done baking, remove the tin from the oven and let the muffins cool in the tin for about 5 minutes. This helps them set and makes them easier to remove. After 5 minutes, transfer the muffins to a wire rack to cool completely. And there you have it, delicious homemade blueberry muffins. And lastly, here are some tips for perfect blueberry muffins. First, you can use either fresh or frozen blueberries. Both work well, but if you're using frozen, don't thaw them before adding to the batter. This prevents the muffins from becoming too moist. Second, coat the blueberries with a small amount of flour before folding them into the batter. This helps prevent them from sinking to the bottom of the muffins. Third, avoid overmixing the batter. Overmixing can lead to tough, dense muffins. Mix until just combined for a tender crumb. For the crumb topping, make sure the butter is cold. This will help create a nice crumbly texture. Lastly, check for doneness by inserting a toothpick into the center of a muffin. If it comes out clean or with just a few moist crumbs, the muffins are done. Be careful not to overbake, as this can result in dry muffins. Enjoy your delicious blueberry muffins.